What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another brand new video. We're back with some more intriguing videos, I guess you could say. This is a new segment I do want to bring to the table personally for you guys, which is literally just talking about anime personally to you guys, and just giving my thoughts and opinions about it. Kind of like similar to like how PewDiePie does with his books. And the reason I kind of look towards that is because that's where I kind of got my idea, sort of, I guess you could say. And this was recently. Now, he's been doing books for a while. But it just randomly came to me one day, and I was like, man, it'd be really intriguing to talk about these shows that I would love to talk about. Now, some of my friends don't actually watch all the anime shows that I like, because we have different tastes. They got their own taste, personally, and I don't fall technically underneath their categories for most of them. But anyways, I kind of just wanted to just talk to someone about it personally, about these shows, because they're very fascinating to watch and very intriguing to literally talk about these shows in general. And maybe there's some shows out there that maybe you guys would like to see personally. I've seen so much stuff on social media about people going to anime groups and stuff for that, and literally asking for recommendations for anime. Now, that's kind of another reason why I looked at this as well, was I was kind of like, why not do a segment where I talk about anime shows that I watch personally, and maybe you guys might be intrigued from it, and maybe you guys might want to watch the show, maybe. But it's just something that I kind of brought up recently to myself, and I kind of just figured, let's just go with it. Let's just have some fun talking about this personally, because I do love anime, and it's definitely something I would like to talk to you guys personally about it, or also talk to some of my friends if I can. I do talk to my friends about it, but I feel like they're not the right people I should talk to about this. It's definitely something I would like to, you know, express out and like really tell you guys like how these shows go. And some of the shows, I will say, maybe they haven't gotten a popular light of and stuff for that, and I kind of feel like they deserve a bit more light. So I just figured let's just go with it and stuff like that. Alright, enough diddle-daddling. Let's actually get into the first show that I actually really want to talk to you guys, which was Cowboy Bebop. And personally, I know a lot of people know the show. It is very popular. It's getting a live action now. Very fascinating to hear personally. This is kind of the reason why I jumped in for that reason, for that cause personally. Especially with Alita. Now, I didn't know too much about Alita. I heard there was even, I think, either a movie or an episode, if I remember correctly. There was a manga that one of my buddies recommended me to read, just for fun, to see if I liked the idea, the concept and stuff. It was actually intriguing. I read a couple of chapters. I was like, this actually sounds like something I would go and watch. So, and this is kind of where it rolls in for Cowboy Bebop. I got an interest into it. I thought it was very fascinating to hear that this is a popular show, and I was just like, I know nothing of the show. I don't know the concept to this show. What am I going to get into? This is kind of where things go from here. Now, to start off, I will have to bring up the theme song, of course, to the show, because how else do you start a show? You gotta see the theme song right away, right? So as this starts off, you get to hear not like an orchestra, but there's some instruments that are playing, of course, in the theme. And it's definitely an iconic way, because a lot of people say that this is a iconic theme song, and when people hear this, they think about Cowboy Bebop. I will say for a fact, for a show that does this personally, it's very hard to see others do that. Now, I'm not saying that maybe there is others out there that haven't done that before. Kind of hard to see those nowadays, like especially being released. So there's so many anime shows nowadays being released like crazy that I feel like you don't get into those shows and hear, you know, that kind of theme. Now, personally, when I heard this, I first right off the bat thought of 007. I thought about that because, one, the music with the intro. Now, with the intro, of course, it does have these pictures that kind of remind you of 007, like, of course, with the gunshots and like these little like flash cards, I guess you could say, that like show the images, but like the images are in black and then you're seeing just color in general. I just found that was very intriguing, but at the same time, I also have to know that this show is not brand new. This is an older show, but either way, it was still good to watch no matter what. Now, to get into the characters, I will say one thing, that they are all very fascinating characters. We have Spike, Faye, Edward, and is it Ted? am I right? I don't know how I'm forgetting this guy's name. Why am I thinking of Ted for some reason? I don't know. But anyways, you have all these main characters in the show, and they're very different. Faye is definitely a girl in the show, but at the same time, she's like an independent woman who really doesn't give a shit about anything. She will literally kick your ass. And like, she is always in that mood. She never has really a good day personally. But when you see the origin story behind her, especially from the past, you could tell that she was way different back then compared to the future of this timeline. Now, Spike is just a goofball that actually lives with his partner. He's just a lazy guy. He can't really get much bounties for some reason, and he just lives off of this guy's ship. He literally just eats whatever this guy has, and some of the foods are a bit raunchy. They do point that out in the show. It's definitely a comedy slash action show, but it's definitely like a detective show, even though it's a bounty. These are supposed to be bounties, not detectives, but they do solve cases sometimes when they try to find the bounty, which I find that's personally intriguing. Now, they do work with the police, of course. Spike's partner, he has a background of working with the police force, of course, so every time he talks to one of the police officers, or maybe like his old ex-partner brings up or something, I just feel like it's intriguing to hear that kind of story, and then see him actually go with his friend. Literally, he's not bringing the cops, involved or anything. It's just him and his partner, and just doing the job personally. And I personally think that's intriguing to see that. And with Spike as well, and seeing like his story for it, especially like how his origin story connects with these bounties sometimes, and I find that's very intriguing to see that, because not a lot of shows will do origins while they're doing their mission, I guess you could say, or that episode, because most of the time the origin will just show like the past. Personally, I know they did that for Faye, but there's a reason behind it why they had to do that though. But with Spike, it was all modern time. There's nothing to it that was really showing much of the past. They did show a little bit that, like, to give you a little bit more explanation about the characters that he knows and that. But other than that, it mostly just stayed in modern time. Now with Ed, I will say this girl is definitely something out of the park. I will tell you that right now. She's definitely different. There's no other character in this show who's like Ed. Ed is like her own thing. Now, I know she does have the dog with her, but like technically that wasn't really her dog. It was really Spike's dog, because he was on a bounty trying to find this guy and ended up with a dog. But either way, you can figure that out in the episode how he got the dog. Either way, Ed is always with his dog. Very smart girl. Very smart, but definitely the most different. I'm just gonna go different, not weird, but very, very, very different of a character to put in this show. Like I said, there's no other real characters like that. Maybe a bit like her father when you see him in the show, but really other than that, personally, I do have to say just she's different than everybody else, but definitely smart to help out someone to hack out a computer system. That I will say for a fact. But other than that, I will say, to sum up this whole show, it definitely has great comedy, lots of action and detective work, and just in general, like, I just found it was like sci-fi, but like also less sci-fi too, because like I found when they go to the planets, it was kind of more of a modern thing, which is very fascinating to see, because I found a lot of sci-fi shows, they just stick with these really sci-fi things, and I feel like this is kind of like the beginning of the future, the way this show is being presented. So it's not fully into the whole sci-fi theme, but you can see it's just starting to get there, and I find that's very fascinating to see it, combined together for that reason. And for me to literally say how I feel about the show personally, I would probably have to give it like maybe an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Like, it's definitely a really good show, but I can't really give this a 10 out of 10. It's really good, but there were moments that I personally kind of wish didn't happen in the show. So I have to kind of give it a 9 out of 10 for that reason. Mostly because of what happens at the end of the show, and I kind of realized that you can't really continue the show because of what happened. So that's kind of my point. The show is good, just I kind of wish it could continue. That's the only part that's a down part to me personally. I kind of wanted to see more episodes of this show, but with the movie at the end of it though, I will say that was definitely one way to end the show. Like the series in general was having this movie come out. So I recommend watching the movie at the end of the series if you're going to watch it. But other than that, that's pretty much it of how to explain about this show. If you really like this segment personally, let me know down in the comment section below. Like the video personally, because it definitely helps me out to know if you guys want to see more of this stuff. If not, then we probably won't be doing this ever again for a segment. But I just want to know how you feel about this personally. Have you seen the show yet, or have you not seen the show yet? If you didn't see the show and you are intrigued by the show, then I recommend going to watch the whole series. There's 25 episodes, then plus also the movie, which is 2 hours, by the way. Yes, it's a long movie, but I do recommend watching the whole thing right away. It's definitely something that keeps you in the movie. It does not bore you at all, and it has good music in the movie too. So I recommend watching all of that. And if you feel like leaving an opinion after that, go ahead, leave it literally down in the comment section below. And also too, if you have recommendations for any other anime that you feel like maybe I should check out and stuff, I definitely would like to do that. I'm definitely more into, like, I wouldn't say cop shows, but like there are moments that I do like certain cop shows or detective work and stuff like that. B13 was definitely another good detective show personally for me to like. If you guys like that, then maybe I'll do that next for another review. But that's up to you guys personally. I do have some other shows I do want to talk about as well. They're different. They're not just action and stuff like that, but there's like other shows, like there's food shows and stuff like that I found were very intriguing to watch and stuff. So I might be talking about that maybe later on or something like that. But other than that, guys, hopefully you guys watch and hit that like for more subscriber new, and I'll see you, of course, in the next videos. Hit the bell, by the way, because I will post a picture of the next series very, very soon when I get a chance to find another anime and watch it for you guys. So be ready for that, and that way we can all watch the anime together. And then that way when this video comes out like this, then we're all here together. Then we can actually discuss it together, and it definitely would be a little more fascinating to do it this way than just, you know, me talking to you guys and then later on discussing it afterwards. But I still don't mind having comments afterwards either way. So, but other than that, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.